I decided to go under the knife. I'm gonna give you the real tea now. Boob rash is a thing. I was in some pain, boy. They stand on their own, just like ting. One of my nipples, it's a little dull. If you gain weight after your breast reduction, they will come back to haunt you. Sex after a breast reduction, different. Good. Real tea right here.
I'm Naya, and this is my journey to lose 100 pounds in 1 year. Please subscribe.
Okay, I think we're good. Hey guys, Naya here. Today I'm doing a 1 year update since my breast reduction. So last September, which is crazy, I took the plunge after probably about 20 years of being like a J cup. I decided to take the plunge and go under the knife. So I want to give you an update, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything that's been going on in the last year. So let's start from the beginning. I developed a little later. I developed when I was like 18. And after that, they just kind of continue to grow year after year after year. I had the twins. And last year I decided, no, I'm pretty good in terms of kids. I'm not going to have any more. And I decided, you know what, it was time. Why I decided to get a breast reduction was for years, I had struggled with very, very, very large breasts. You know how the alphabet goes from A to Z? I was right there in between JK. So kind of midway. I was suffering with like a lot of things. There was some back pain for sure. But one of the things that I really struggled with was sleeping. My breasts, because they were so large, when I would sleep on my back, literally my breast would come up to here, like up to my chin. So I could barely breathe. At night, I couldn't sleep on my back because I would be gasping for air. And then if I laid down on my stomach, I would not be comfortable. There would be lots of pain. So really it was just an uncomfortable situation night after night after night. The other thing that was really challenging was going to the store. If anybody can hear me right now, in terms of going to the store and trying to find a bra that fits properly, it just wasn't happening. Unless of course I went to a specialty store, which ended up costing me like $200 a bra. Or I had a really good friend in Seattle for a couple years who was actually bringing bras for me on her visit. It was just really, really hard to find anything. The other thing was clothing. Anything with a button would not fit, right? So like the rest of the shirt would fit, but everything would be tight and constrained here. Also, just in general, it was always like, my boobs were coming first. I walk into a room and the boobs would come a minute before me and then the rest of my body would come after it. It was awkward and it was uncomfortable. And people probably won't tell you this, but like the boob rash, it's a thing. Boob rash is a thing, and it would be chafed and hot and sweaty and gross all the time. Even like in the winter, it didn't matter. So that's why I decided enough is enough. I was gonna go and have my breast reduction last year. So I did. So here is footage from the hospital because you know me, I recorded everything.
Hey guys, it's day of surgery. I'm here at the hospital.
Hey, I'm Dr. Short. We are going to do a breast reduction for you today. I'm going to take you and we're going to put a bunch of marks on you so I know what the plan will be. So we do it standing up. So when you're lying down, I know what to do. It's going to take a couple of hours. You're going to wake up. You're going to be a bit groggy. And then you can say, oh my gosh, I feel so much lighter. I should have done this years ago. I can't believe I waited so long.
I can't wait to be a D. Are we going for D's or double D's?
We can strive for one of either of those.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
So this is how I was feeling just a few hours after surgery.
It's the evening now, and the surgery took, I think it was maybe about 4 hours. He took out a total of almost 10 pounds of breast tissue, which is a heck of a lot. I think he said I should be like a double D. You can see the bandages wrapped around. I'm in pain. Like, it's not like excruciating though, right? Like I thought it was going to be like huge, like really bad, but it's really not. It's definitely a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
So in terms of the rest of the recovery, I was not one of those lucky people. You know, it's funny because when I was researching and looking at other YouTubers and all of that, everybody was like, oh yeah, I was good within like a week. Like I could do this and I could do that. That was not my situation. Like right after the surgery, things were going good. Even the first few days were okay. But by week 2, I was in some pain, boy, that you would not even believe. And remember, I had twins. I had a C-section. And the pain was nowhere near the pain, the irritation, the uncomfortable feeling of having this done. And It's funny because when I look at my C-section incision, it's about four inches in diameter, whereas with the breast reduction, they did an anchor incision. So basically, I've got an incision going under the breast, and that is quite large, right? It's probably all around, probably about 12 inches. Then I've got an incision going up to the nipple. They took off the nipple and then replaced everything back, put everything where it should be. The fact is that the amount of incisions and the sheer amount of weight that they took off, which was almost 10 pounds between the two breasts, just meant that there was a lot of healing. There were times when even like driving was like a nightmare.
The other thing I wish somebody would have told me before my surgery would have been, the car is not your friend. Literally, for probably 2 to 3 weeks, it is probably the most uncomfortable thing that you will ever do is drive, right? I'm literally at the wheel, and I'll show you. Because you're bumping all the time, every little bump in the road, you feel it right here. The strap of the seatbelt just keeps rubbing on everything, your incisions. It's just awkward as hell. So what I would just recommend to people is maybe get a pillow to raise you up and also cushion you from the bumping, because that shaking, honestly, it is no joke. I remember literally being like, every time I saw a pothole or anything like that.
Look at this. Overall, week 2, 3 were really bad. I went back to work. Week 3, I should not have done that. But overall, by like week 6, the pain started to really subside. Things were getting back to normal. My breasts were feeling relatively comfortable, but I'd say it took a solid 2 months before I was like not wincing in pain at random times. Another thing that I had heard about was, people having lack of nipple sensation and things like that. I'll have to say, really, it's only one of my nipples that is like, it's a little dull. You know what I mean? But it's funny because one of the things that also has happened is that my nipples are always on salute. Right? Like they're always like this. It doesn't matter rain or shine. Whereas with my normal breasts, the only time they would go on salute is when it was cold or I was nervous or something like that. Now they are always there. All right. You ready for this? I'm going to give you the real tea now when it comes to sex. The real tea right here. Sex after a breast reduction. Different. Good. No, but seriously, guys, I'm going there. I'm a sexual being and I like to be on top a lot. So one of the things that would often happen before was that I would be holding on to these girls. Why? Because they're going all over the place. They're heavy, they hurt, but I'm trying to get into it. You know what I mean? Whereas now they stand on their own, just like, dang, I can raise my arms, I can stretch out, I can hold on to my hair. Like, it's wicked. Okay. It's just freedom. It's a whole new level of freedom that I haven't had. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, my husband, on the other hand, again, real talk here. He liked his large, juicy pillows. He did. He's told me actually, like, he probably preferred those big, gigantic things. And again, remember, like, my breast size right now is probably just a little bit bigger than a double D, maybe a little bit bigger. So maybe like an E or an F. By no means are they small, but he got used to, the good life where he had pillows big enough that he could lay his entire body on practically. And those are gone. So he does have a little bit of regret, but at the same time, he's totally supportive. He wants me to be happy, all of that. And he knows it was best for me. I do remember though, probably like first few months, like he wouldn't touch anywhere around the nipple. Why? Because I feel like he was afraid they were going to fall off. I'm not going to play. I was afraid that they were going to fall off too. I literally just had a vision of him being like, what's this? So overall, I would rate the results of my surgery like 9 out of 10. The recovery, like a 4. But the end result, I'm very happy with. In terms of scarring, while I did have really big incisions and all of that, the scarring is pretty good. Dark skin typically will have like, darker scar tissue and things like that. But I do definitely have scarring, but it's not anything crazy. And I don't get keloids. So everything's pretty smooth as well, which is nice. There's no like bubbling or rippling or anything like that. So one of the things that I'm really thankful for is that I'm in Canada. So with our free health coverage, of course, we all pay into taxes and everything like that to cover that. But with our health coverage, breast reduction surgery right now is covered. Right? So I didn't have to pay anything. I didn't have to pay a dime for my breast reduction surgery, which was great. The doctor had talked to me about getting lipo around my kind of armpit area, which would have cost probably about another $2,000. And I really did consider it, but I feel like that's going to come off with weight loss. And he did say that. He's like, with dramatic weight loss, that'll come off. So hopefully, it'll be good that I saved myself $2,000 because, I'm on that weight loss journey. Something that everybody needs to know and hear me well. If you gain weight after your breast reduction, these will grow with you. Oh yeah, they will grow and they will grow and they will grow some more. No, seriously, like legit, they will come back. You hear me? They will come back to haunt you. So if you think that you're gonna do all of this and then have these amazing breasts and then they're not gonna go anywhere, they will. Learn from my mistakes because I definitely did gain some weight over the course of the year since the breast reduction, and my breasts have absolutely gotten bigger. Definitely think about that before you have your Cheetos. Right. So the only thing I really didn't like about the surgery was the recovery. For me, I don't really like to take like even Tylenol or Advil unless pain is excruciating, and boy, it was. So like I was taking like, 2 Advils, then 2 Tylenols, and every 2 hours, and then switching or some ridiculousness like that. Like I was taking like 9 to 10 pills a day. It was insane, especially for me because I don't do that. So that was definitely like the downfall. So I guess the conclusion of this is, if somebody is thinking about having breast reduction or, having the surgery, I would absolutely recommend it if you are uncomfortable with your breasts, if you're in pain, if you're going through any of the things that I was going through, I would absolutely recommend it, even with my difficult recovery. Because at the end of the day, it's a year later now. And honestly, while my breasts are still larger than the average woman, larger than the average bear, but no, larger than the average woman, they are a great size for me. It's changed also even like professionally, right? Like I remember the men I used to work with would like constantly be like, hey, like looking at this, there was nothing that I could wear that didn't emphasize my breasts, even a turtleneck, right? Like it was ridiculous. And now that's a non-starter. It doesn't exist, which is fantastic for me. But yeah, if you're considering having a breast reduction, definitely talk to your doctor, do your research to find out if it's the best option for you. But for me, it absolutely was. And a year later, I just wish I'd probably done it like 5 years ago rather than waiting till now. But all it means is that I'm going to be, a hot tamale at, 50 something and like, they're still going to look like ding. Guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button and check out the next episode because, you're going to want to. All right, later. It's those damn telemarketers.
Yeah.
What am I going to talk to them about? I don't want their shit.
But you know it's a telemarketer, so why do you answer to begin with? Just hang up from the beginning. You don't say hello.
I like to tease them. Make them think they're going to catch me.
Exactly. That's just mean.
Why did I decide to get a bread? They don't look too big, do they? I swear they've gotten way bigger. Like I think I've gone up like 2 sizes at least since the surgery. I'm serious. Do you remember how they used to look like little,
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Remember to tap that like button, smash the subscribe button, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss an episode. I'll be posting weekly.
Of the twins combined, right? Keloids?